I'm Phil Bolton with Global Atlanta, and I'm with Andre Vallerand, who is from Montreal and the head coach of the Cirque du Soleil's performance CUSA, which is presently in Atlanta. Andre, how did you get involved with the Cirque du Soleil?
It's a long time ago. I was myself a gymnast, Olympic gymnast in Montreal with the Canadian team, and started to do a little bit of coaching at the end of my career. And clubs where I was training had also a little component with where the actual space was available during the day, because we're training at night. So during the day we opened the doors to street performers. And street performers during the winter months, where it's really cold in Montreal, started to come in, and we had jugglers, we had like acrobats. They all came in, and then it started to bring more and more people, and then after that it became the National Circus School. With that in mind, the people that from that kind of school started to go into the Cirque du Soleil. And so I got involved at the beginning with that, and then later on in my career I continued with gymnastics. But in '96 I decided to, okay, I'm gonna go join Cirque du Soleil as I started as an acrobatic recruiter.
Were the street performers in Montreal able to make a living with their acts?
Yeah, there's many venues, and at that time there was like, I think people were really impressed, and there still is. We've got all over in the big cities, there's always like street performers. If they're good, they got a good place, and there's got people coming and walking. I think they get a pretty good living for the shortest time, because once the cold weather, it's a little bit harder for them to perform.
How do you find these extraordinary performers today?
Right now, when I started in '96 with Cirque du Soleil at the casting department, there was only 6 of us working. And right now there's more than 60, so it's 10 times more people working in about 12 years. So there's 60 people. Some of them are in different parts of the world. Some of them are in Montreal and also traveling. There's also with the internet now, with the technology. So we're looking at the entire world right now with all the different artists, and all the different talent that we have.
So applicants over the internet, those applications are looked at in Montreal. Is that kind of the center?
Yeah. Montreal is the head office. This is we call them the studio. This is where all the different departments, the creation department and is based on. So if people send their resume or their CV on internet, people in Montreal in the casting department will be looking at them, and after that, if they view and they find that they're interesting in what we're looking for, then they'll probably be invited for auditions that we do all over the world.
Have you discovered people that hadn't been really discovered before?
During the time I did the casting for 3.5 years, and I've auditioned many people in different countries, and honestly, I've discovered some very good artists, very good talented people, and some of them are still working right now with the Cirque after 12 years. So.
What did you look for?
I think what was most important is when somebody goes on stage, we want to make sure that they make themselves really like special. If somebody goes on stage and you're looking at them and you're wowed by them, I think the wow factor is very important. I think that's the most important thing that we're looking at. If people are hired at Cirque, it's because they got that wow, we're going to look at them.
Can you train somebody to have that?
Yes, it can be trained, but also it has to come from inside. So if you don't have it, it's hard to bring it out. So this is something you're born with. You're either like a performer or you're not. So,
have you found people that you think are just athletic and been able to raise them up to a professional standard.
Yeah, many of the artists, because at that time I was doing just the acrobatic auditions, so a lot of them were coming from the sporting venues, so a lot of them we took as a sports person, and basically they came to Montreal, we taught them different things, went through creation or different trainings, and then they emerge as being an artist rather than just a sport.
Where are most of your talented people coming from?
Right now, there's no big clunk of people coming from the same area. Right now, the entire world is basically where we're looking at right now. We've got a good bunch of artists that are coming from the ex-Soviet Union, but again, it varies. We got people.
That's
from
because
China.
they had a strong circus tradition. Is that correct?
Both
so
circus and also the sporting events, because the sports that we're looking at are gymnastics, trampolinists, rhythmics, diving, synchronized swimmers. So all these are different disciplines that we're looking at.
Some of these artists look like children, very young. Do you have problems in terms of taking on younger people and caring for them?
It depends on the show. It depends on also the venue. We do hired minors, but as far as them looking very young, I think it's also something that we're looking at. We have one of the clown here that is more than 50 years old, and when you talk to him it feels like he's only like 10 or 15 years old. So I think that's part of what we're looking at as an artist of Cirque du Soleil, that joie de vivre and